Hey, what's going on internet? Josh Noel from SonduckFilm. Today we're going to create an awesome lower thirds tutorial inside of After Effects. I know it's probably a very common tutorial to see this sort of thing, but there's so many different styles with lower thirds and many ways to go about doing this. I'm more of a clean motion graphics sort of guy, and I always prefer going with a simple style. But there's many ways that we can animate these properties from coming in. And recently we've been doing a variety of tutorials on Videohive.net templates and breaking them down and seeing how these specific elements are created. And I highly suggest going ahead and checking out some of these templates to see how they are created. And if you are in time crunch, I always suggest purchasing these templates because they will definitely save you a ton of time and they're ready to go without any learning curve. You can go ahead and check out some of my favorite lower third templates. Those links are in the description of this video. Go ahead and break some of them down after watching this tutorial and see if you can recreate them on your own. And like I said, if you need lower thirds right now, go ahead and check out some of these products and see if they will work for you. And if you want to follow along with this tutorial, you can download the project files off of my website for free. The link is in the description of this video if you're watching this on YouTube. So go ahead and download these free lower thirds that you can use for your own projects and take a closer look at how we create these. So we're going to do two lower thirds in here to show you two different styles. I'm going to go with the more complex one off the start, which really is not complex at all. It's really awesome. So always grab your text style tool and type out your text. I'm using the typeface Gotham, and the reason why I like Gotham is because it has a ton of font styles in here. And I'm going to go with a bold look right off the start so we can see our text and make sure that's nice and big. And I'm not going to do this in the third area. I'm going to do this right in the middle for the tutorial purpose. And I do highly suggest that you do your lower thirds in the center of your compositions because you can always reframe that later, but it always depends. I'll keep that up to you. But let's come over here and center this up. And there's our title, and make sure if you go up to window align to center up your text. And then the first things first, let's grab our rectangle tool, make sure no layer is selected, and you can draw out a box like this, and we'll put this layer underneath our text. And by the way, we are creating this lower third right here. So boom, just like that. And let's come here, set the fill color to white, and let's grab our text color, grab the textile tool, and we'll set this to a dark gray there. Click OK. And once again, make sure the shape layer is aligned in the center of your composition, and that looks good. So what we want to do is we want to transition in the shape layer from the sides of the box here. So what we can do is make sure the shape layer is selected, and we'll grab the rectangle tool at the top, and before you do anything, click on this icon that's tool creates mask. It's next to the star icon. Select that, and you can draw out a mask like this. Alright, awesome. And then you can come here to mask 1. You can duplicate it by hitting Control D on a PC or Command D on a Mac, and you can move this mask over to the other side and make sure layer is selected. Hit M on your keyboard to bring up the mask path, and you'll see both of the stopwatches here. Add a keyframe, and we'll move forward to 1 second, and we'll grab the vertices on the left side of the left mask, and we'll bring this all the way to the middle. And what we can do is, to see the middle, bring up the title safe action here, and just kind of line up the mask to the center crosshair right there, so you can see that crosshair. And we'll just want to, alright, now you have this, and then we'll go to the other mask and we'll do the same thing as well. So grab those two vertice points, and now we have this transition in here. It looks good. Let's go ahead and make the last two keyframes easy ease keyframes by hitting F9 on your keyboard, so it kind of slows down before it comes to a complete stop. And if we throw on the transparent layer, you can see that our text is already on before our box transitions on. So what I want to do is I want to select our shape layer 1 and set it to alpha matte. So now if I turn this on, you see our text is not on, and then it kind of transitions on like this. And I'm going to come over here, change the fill to black, and then I'm going to duplicate the shape layer, bring this underneath everything, and change the fill back to white. So now we go to the transparent layer. Our text won't be there at all. And what's cool, I'll grab the shape layer 1 and our text, the two top layers, and I'll offset them in time by a little bit. And make sure the last layer is set to no track matte. And now you have your text coming on a little bit later, and that looks cool. And actually what we'll do, instead of doing black off the start, we'll set this to like a primary color. So like maybe we'll do like a magenta. So this will be pink like this. And then what we can do is duplicate these two layers again, duplicate them. And then we can set the fill to black or dark gray, doesn't really matter, and offset them once again. So now you get pink, and then it goes right to, and of course we want to add another transition element on top of our nameplate here. So let's come here and let's grab our background plate and bring this to the top. Let's set this color to the primary pink as well, or the magenta. So go to fill and select that magenta. All right, and we'll turn that layer back on. And from here, we'll hit M on our keyboard to bring up the mask again. And we'll come here to the last frame, and we'll select the out mask here, the two vertices outside of the shape, and we'll bring this in to the center. And then we'll do it for the other mask. Okay, so then we'll have these little boxes in here. And of course, if you want, you can always manipulate the sizes of it by going to like between the middle of the timeline here, between the keyframes, and kind of just offset these by a little bit, these vertices, so the boxes will be a little bit bigger. And then of course we'll offset this layer in time as well. And that looks, pretty cool. And we can turn off the transparency here. And I also highly suggest after the pink transition, after these boxes close up, go up to Edit and click on Split Layer and delete that last layer. Let's say you want to add a subtitle. What we can do is just type out our text here, and maybe I'm just an awesome guy. That's my subtitle. That's my job description. Just be an awesome guy. Actually, I don't know if that's true, but come in here, set this to white, and we'll set this to light. And we'll bring this down a little bit, make it a little smaller. And go to the Align tab, and we'll just center this up a little bit. And of course, we'll make sure that our subtitle layer is underneath pretty much everything so we don't see it. And right when the box closes up, we'll bring the endpoint in. And then we want the subtitle come on right here. So we'll hit P on keyboard for position, add a keyframe for position. Move forward in time, maybe by almost a second, and we'll bring down the Y position. Make the last keyframe an easy ease keyframe by hitting F9 on your keyboard. So now we have this very nice lower third here right in After Effects, nice and smooth. And of course, if we want to reverse the effect, what I would do is go to Layer, Pre-Compose, and we'll call it LT1, or I'll just do LT3.1. And we'll come over here and go to Edit, Split Layer, delete that, come here to the layer here, duplicate it, right-click the layer, go to Time, click on Time Reverse Layer, and then we can bring this off in time. So we have our animation, we have our lower third, and we might need to just extend the out point here so it's up a little bit longer. And there you have it. And it kind of goes off just like that. And let's say you want to, obviously this is more of a title. Let's say we want to make this a lower third. What we can do is go to Layer, New Null Object, grab all of your layers and parent them to the null object. And now if you hit P and S on your keyboard for position and scale, you can move this over, bring this down, and you can also scale it down or up depending on how big you need it to be. And we can put this over in our third, and make sure you have title safes up so you can see where things will be cut off at. So title action safes with this crosshair down here. And we go back to our main comp here. And of course, before we render this one out, toggle switch to modes and turn on motion blur for all your layers and turn it on at the top. And turn it on at the top at your main composition. And boom, there is our lower third. And it's a little bit quick, but you guys get the idea of how this can work. And so let's go ahead and create a more simple lower third like this one. Obviously, it looks very easy, but there's a few techniques in here that we'll keep hidden. So let's go to create a new composition, call it LT. In my case, I'll call it 4, lower third 4. And once again, we'll start with the simple text. All right, so I have my text here. Once again, using Gotham with a book and a light style. And text placement is everything. So think about how you can place your text, whether in the last one we had it directly, in the middle of our main title. Over here we have it flushed to the right for our subtitle. And this looks graphic, from a graphic design perspective, this looks good. And for this, all I want to do is to create a line that's going to animate through my text, and I'm going to animate the text out of nowhere. So what we can do is zoom in here, grab the pen tool at the top and zoom in. And I'm going to try to line this up to the top of our text like this. I'm going to click a point, come here to the middle between the text, the main title and the subtitle, hold down Shift on your keyboard and click another point, and come here to the end, and we'll bring this down over here. Make sure to hold down Shift as well. Okay, so this looks good. So obviously this is not what we're going for, so click on the word fill and set this to none. Click on the word stroke at the top and set this to solid color. And obviously there might need to be a few tweaks to make this fit in here, because obviously this doesn't look amazing. So we'll come here and just make a quick few tweaks. And if we need to make any path adjustments, open up the shape layer, go to Contents, Shape 1, Path 1, and click on the word Path. And you can hold down Shift, click it, and then deselect it, and then you can bring this point down. Just hold down the Shift key a few times, and you should be able to manipulate the point a little bit. And we want to kind of line this directly in the middle. Okay, so that's looking good. So let's say you want to animate the line. Of course, we want to do that. So go to Add, and add a Trim Paths. Come here to Trim Paths 1. Set the start percentage to 100% or the end percentage, depending on what direction you really want to go at. So maybe we'll do the end percentage to 100%. So add a keyframe for end percentage. Move forward. We'll do like a second and a half, and we'll set this to 100%. So now this line will animate on just like this. And we can make both keyframes easy ease keyframes by hitting F9 on our keyboard. And now we got to animate in the text. And this is where, you know, some cool techniques can come into play. So let's come here. And I want the text to animate in from the line. So we'll grab our main title here, hit P on keyboard for position, add a keyframe for it. We'll move it forward in time to right over here. And we'll grab the X position and bring it outside of our line like this. Okay, then we'll move forward in time until this line finishes up over here. And we'll go to our subtitle, add a keyframe for position, and we'll move it forward in time like we did before, and we'll move it offside over here. Alright, so let's kind of zoom out here, see what we've done. Maybe make both those keyframes easy ease keyframes by hitting F9 on your keyboard. So we have the movement in place, but obviously this looks ridiculous. So what we can do to fix this is to pre-compose each of these layers. So select your name layer, pre-compose, you can call it name, and then pre-compose your subtitle layer. And then we'll grab the rectangle tool, since we're working with rectangles here, and we'll go with our name layer first, and we'll draw out this mask on our line as best as we can, and we'll set it to subtract. So now our name comes in that way, and then once again with the subtitle, and then with our subtitle we don't have to set it to subtract, we'll keep it at add. It comes in just like that. So let's go ahead and turn on motion blur, and once again if you want to reverse the effect, just pre-compose it and time reverse the layer. Alright, and after a quick render, here is our first lower third, and here is our second lower third, and obviously both these lower thirds are very clean. And I also suggest to take what you learn from these tutorials, check out the links in the description for these Videohive templates, and start breaking them down and learn from other people's work. And I think that's definitely one of the best ways to learn. And once again, if you are in the time crunch and you want to just be able to have a bunch of lower thirds in your library, go ahead and check some of these out, and hopefully they'll be what you're looking for. So hope you guys enjoyed this After Effects tutorial on lower thirds. And if you did enjoy the video, please be sure to drop a like on the video because it helps me out tremendously. Subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this, and please be sure to hit me up on my social media networks. Those links are in the description on the video, and always be creating.